Alrighty, folks. It's your AWOL friendly neighborhood old soldier. Yeah, and I've been AWOL for the last few days, so y'all might want to court-martial me for that. I don't know. Just been busy with the grandbaby and other things. Life, you know how it goes, folks. Anyway, it's for you, Brother Kyle. Hope everything works out for Saturday. And hope to see you and Jamie and Willie on Saturday. Planning on it. And me and Mrs. Old Soldier looking forward to the trip. Other than that, folks, I hope everybody's been doing well and okay. I keep telling you we'll get back to the points of communism, which we will. I'm going to start that back up on Monday, come heck or high water. I plan to get back to that. What do we talk about today? Outside of the fact that the weather's starting to cool off around here, thank God, thank God, thank God, it feels so great today. Let's talk about the Haitians. So, why do we want to talk about Haitians? Well, one, my heart goes out to the island nation of Haiti. You know, 'cause a while back, had a president was assassinated. And, you know, what's interesting is that, you know, Hillary Clinton's brother has a lot to do with the control of what goes on in Haiti. And the fact that their late president basically stated that they weren't going to issue the COVID vaccines and all this mess because of what they already had going on. And it was funny how shortly after he made that announcement, he was killed. Well, let's fast forward to now, where I think they're saying it's somewhere upwards in the number of 10,000 Haitian refugees on the Mexican-Texican border. Does anybody out there have a clue as to how they got there? How did they get into Mexico? Were they brought over by boat? Did they fly? If they flew, who paid for it? If they went by boat, who checked them when they got into Mexico? Anybody? That's the real question that needs to be asked right there. And all of a sudden, why is it that 10,000 Haitians showed up at the border along with other illegal immigrants? As long as they're on the Mexican side, I guess they're not illegal. The moment they cross into the U.S., they become illegal. Let's play nice, play fair. And again, like I told some people today, don't have an issue when people are trying to better their lives for their family and for their children. And I'll even go so far as to say that in desperate times and desperate measures, people will do things, whether they are legal or right, in order to provide for their families, provide for themselves. And I get it. I really do. And if you want to stay politically correct, I've met a few undocumented people that were protected under DACA. I think that's what it calls. That's what they call it. DACA. Very hard-working, industrious young people. One or two rubbed me the wrong way because they had an attitude of they were owed something or they were entitled. But the majority were very humble and grateful to be here under the circumstances how they were brought here. Still, at the end of the day, they should not be given blanket amnesty. I get it for the children that were brought here against their own will. They've never known any other language than, say, English. Or those that have been taught Spanish, but not necessarily how to read or write in Spanish. Okay? They're challenged if they go back to wherever they came from. I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, there are legal requirements in every nation. And when I hear the left arguing about how they're migrants, they're not illegals. Well, no, they're illegal by the laws of our land. And by the laws of their own land if we do turn around and we do the same thing. And then I get upset when I hear about well, this was our land originally, y'all took it from us. Well, I had nothing to do with it. my ancestors had nothing to do with it. Now, there's people in our government years ago that had something to do with it. To say they took it, that's a stretch. Everything west of the Mississippi was purchased from France. California, New Mexico, Arizona, good portion of Texas was secured after the Mexican-American War. Texas itself was an independent nation for about 10 years before it became a part of the Union. And I will tell you this, but people don't like to admit it, but if you go back and you read history, a lot of the people in Texas that fought against the dictatorship, if you will, the tyranny of Santa Anna and the Mexican government at the time were ethnically Mexican. They fought with the Anglo-Saxon Texans for that goal, for that purpose. Okay? Because they were tired of how they were being ruled. If you want to get the Native American debate, we can do that another time, another place. All I would say is that what happened there, it happened all across Europe, Asia, and Africa, South America, and then it got here. And before Europeans ever set foot here, Native Americans were taken from one another. Same thing in Africa. One tribe would conquer and take over another and take their lands. People say that the British and the Dutch, well, before the British and the Dutch got there, the Zulus were the ones doing the conquering and the taking over. But that's another story for another time, another history lesson for another school day. Back to the point that, like I said, there's 10,000 undocumented Haitians that showed up on the Mexican border. How'd they get there? Why? Who paid for them to cross the ocean to get into Mexico to show up at that border? How did they get there? Who funded it? How were they provided for to get there that far? Whether, let's just say, they come by boat and came in the southern edge of Mexico, or they come in through Honduras, across into Mexico. Let's just say they went that route. That's the shortest route by ocean. Still got to pay somebody to get the boat to the island, load the people, and bring them across. Provisions have to be provided for. Just find that as odd, folks. Find that as odd. What's even odder is that there's a federal judge that ruled yesterday or today that the deportation of these Haitians has to stop for some international law that I don't think we all ever fully agreed to. Stated that for some reason we can't deport them. I gotta do some more digging in on that one. If y'all know anything about that, put it in the comments below. Help school this old soldier who's sometimes his mind wanders and drifts and all that good horse mess. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and tell me down in the description below your thoughts on this, and why do you think all of a sudden now they're bringing Haitians up through the Mexican border to come into the U.S. And again, my heart goes out to Haiti. It really does. The Haitians have had a hard time for a long time, and they deserve better in this world than what they've got. And I'm not saying that they're not working towards that end goal, but they've had their fair share plus some of being misgoverned, I guess. You think about it, it was 1994. I ought to know, I was on alert to go. Had there been an invasion of Haiti, my unit was to follow on and support the 82nd. Thank God it didn't come to that, but I was sitting on the front porch of my house in Rayford, North Carolina at the time, when the planes were flying over, and I had friends on those planes. It was kind of a tense situation at the time, especially midway through Clinton's first term, and money for the military was tight. So nobody we still had a strong force in the sense of what we were about to go down there and do. But the bottom line was, There was issues then. There's issues now. One, pray for the Haitian people. Pray that someday that they'll be governed properly and be given the opportunity to succeed in life. It's my humble opinion that right now that they're not getting. They're not getting in the least. But I wanted to share that with you, get your thoughts on it. Try to get a video out tomorrow. Don't know what we'll talk about. So I might do a history lesson on chevrons tomorrow. U.S. Army chevrons. Just to get away from politics for a quick minute. Why? Because I've been ordering some from a couple of different generations. Just grins and giggles. But anyway. Till then, my friends, God bless. Take care. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, Brother Kyle. Like I said, Kyle, looking forward to Saturday. Make sure you tell Jamie to text me the address. Me and this old soldier and little Leon, grandbaby, are gonna come out and meet y'all. So till then, y'all take care. God bless. Stay vigilant. Stay alert. Stay safe. Keep your eyes open, ears to the ground. And we will talk to y'all soon.